What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Business and Biceps. And you better wake your ass up, because on today's show, we're going to talk about a video that's gone viral called The Ride Home. And I want to hear what Mr. Hardcore John Fosco's got to say about this. I'm really, we've talked about some kids sports things, but like this video, which we're going to let you guys, we're going to play on air so you guys can hear it, so you can hear what we're going to weigh in on. But John, what's your thoughts just around this in general for an intro?
So I think my first thought is like, man, why the fuck would we do a show on a video that's gone viral? But once I saw it, I think it's gone viral for a very good reason. Because this is something that both young boys, young girls, and girls, anyone who participates in sports, especially nowadays, and even back when we were younger, has to deal with this. And I think people are truly divided on the appropriateness of this message. So I think these are the best topics, right? When there is no right answer, when we get to hear both sides of the spectrum and people can weigh in themselves, you know?
And I think it takes you back to, did you deal with this? Did you not deal with this? Was this a play? When you listen to this, is this a playback to your childhood or one of your buddies' childhood? And how did that end up? Like, I think everyone has a dad or knows a dad that's exactly like this. I mean, I think you agree with that, right, Johnny?
Or did you just say playback because we were listening to James Brown's?
I did.
Playback.
And we were listening to, dude, our pregame was James Brown. Just so you guys are aware, there's nothing else that can even fucking sweat James Brown, bro.
We might start having an intermission where you just all of a sudden hear music over both of our voices, and we start, singing to the best of our ability, like James Brown. And if you're too young to know how amazing James Brown is, please Google image first his haircut, and then listen to his music.
I used to do James Brown, my posing music, Fosco. Every time.
Oh, that's
bodybuilding. Bodybuilding Gregory right here. All right. Hey, before we get too light, this is a serious topic kind of. So let's play the clip, and then John and I are going to weigh in on it. So let's go to the clip, Butt Life.
So, not your best practice. Can we agree on that? It seemed like you wanted to hang out with your friends more than practice. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. Just tell me. Because you can do that anytime. Maybe we can skip your next game. Because choosing to waste your time, that's one thing. But wasting my time and your coach's time? That's selfish. You don't care about other people. You don't care about hard work. You don't care about teamwork. That's why you're always on the bench, every time it matters. Your coaches think you're selfish too. Your hockey coach, your soccer coach, your football coach, everyone does. So, if you want to keep playing, you need to take a good hard look at yourself and think about that.
All right, cool, John. So I want to hear your just initial reaction after listening to that, and then because you're not a parent, obviously, currently with a kid,
that I know of
that you're aware of. That's another podcast. Trajan's laughing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I want to hear
I want
to hear your initial reaction to this, and then I'm gonna give you my feedback. But go ahead, buddy.
Sure. So a lot of feelings. The first thing I'll say is this: personal relatability. The sport I was best at when I was young was football, and I never played high school football because I always had an on and off relationship with my dad because he loved it. He loved the fact that his son was good at football. And that single reason alone caused me not to play football in high school because he was very up on me with questions and thoughts and like this gentleman in the video. So I have experience literally having the fun taken out of something that even I enjoyed. But I skewed away from, and the same with baseball. He hated basketball. So I play basketball. So, outside of that, what I'll say is this: too many parents think their kid has a shot to make it to the league, has a shot to be a great athlete. And I think there's been such a social current social mind skewing to that direction that parents have completely forgot that the same odds of that are like winning the lottery. So if you look at sports for children, I don't care if they're fucking 8 or 14, actually, like they're meant to do a couple things. They're meant to keep the kid busy and productive with something that builds discipline, builds character, and that most importantly, that they enjoy, that they truly enjoy. When parents think about their kid becoming Tiger Woods or Cam Newton or LeBron James, like it's so fucking selfish, because if the kid is going to become one of those people or wants to become one of those people, trust me, as I'm sure you know as a father, they will let you know. They will fucking be on the fucking driveway for 10 hours a day in the rain shooting. They will do that on their own. They don't need you to push. Now, support is great. But support should be given when asked for. Now, they have a coach. Kids have a coach. So when it comes to what they need to do, parents need to let coaches be coaches. But what they don't need to do is lecture their kid on all these things that they didn't do or what they could do better, because it literally takes something. You got to remember, man, if you play in the NFL and you're playing the NBA, you're playing a kid's game and you're making all this money for it. It is a game at its core. For parents to lose sight of that fact and start thinking at such a young age, even high school is a young age, start thinking about their kid maybe being a good athlete because of how it will reflect on them, or maybe going to the league because how much money is there, is 100% selfish. And I think this is a great video for right now, because this should remind every fucking parent, back the fuck up and encourage fun. Fun.
I like how you started off with personal relatability, John, because when I took myself there, my dad never had even one fucking talk with me about this kind of shit, or even I can't even remember him even taking me to practice. The more I think about it, I don't think he was ever fucking there. And I don't think he ever said, do this or do, like, none of these things. So even if I watch this video or listen to this audio, and just because you guys can't see it, it's like an 8-year-old kid that's in the back seat and his dad's saying what you just heard because he didn't respond, right? And at the end of the video,
catch it up on our IG.
Yeah, and catch it up on the IG. But if they don't, I just want to make sure to frame that up. So the thing is that I think and I have the same age. I have a 9-year-old and I have a 14-year-old, right? I've had these conversations in different ways with both kids, but they're not as like, I can be more drastic with an older son that should know better, that's about the borderline, is about to be in high school, compared to my 9-year-old, who I just need him to listen to the coach and be like respectful, like to my point. So I think there's pieces of this that are absolutely fine, and especially in the context of age group. When I think about my father really saying any of this, like, I would have loved even just a small percentage of this to have something that, like, to have that structure, because I think, listen, kids act up when they don't have structure. Like, people need discipline and structure. That's part of how you can keep things between the lines. When it comes to like having these aspirations to be pros, here's what I realized real quick. And I think this is why I have a different outlook on it. Just, I fucking worked without people telling me to work. I didn't have extra coaches. I just fucking shot hours and thousands of jumpers. And I was in the driveway in the fucking rain for hours. I'm talking the same way I lift weights. I did that for basketball for a period of time. And guess what? I averaged 4 a game. Yeah, I could jam every now and again. I was a good defensive player, but I ain't going to the fucking league, right? I realized when I started working with real athletes, the gap. And so my actual like understanding of that is like my kid would have to be a freak genetically, also have the work ethic for me to push to even think that they got a shot at the league. Like, dude,
but Cord, let me ask you, why is that part of the
conversation?
conversation? Why is that part of the conversation?
But what I'm saying is, I want to hit your point of the winning the lottery. So what I'm saying is, it shouldn't be part of the conversation because it's such a small percentage. Like to be that unaware, there's that many people right now, John, that are that unaware. They really think that their 9-year-old is going to the major league, and that's why they have these conversations. So that's part of my problem, because they're living through their kids, because they never got to the level they thought they should have. Or it's honestly what I think it is. It's a lot of their own insecurities being pushed onto their kid. That's where I think it gets real fucking dicey, bro, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I just look at it like this. So you got these fathers, and I'm not saying mothers don't do it, because I'm sure mothers do it too. Yeah. But you got fathers who, I think it's more common than not to approach youth sports in that way. And then what I'd like to challenge the thought in relation to this is this. So you're pushing your kid to be this great athlete. What are you doing when you take him or pick him up from school?
Yeah. It's true.
What are you doing? Are you pressing them about every class? Are you telling them how to interact? No, you say, how was school? Good. Do you have any homework? What? Wait, what? Why is that? Because if we're looking out for the livelihood or potential livelihood of our child, which one makes more sense? Which one should you be shepherding and guiding them on? A fantasy and a fucking dream that's selfish as shit, or something that they're actually going to have to use, that they're engaged in? It's fucking like, there it is. It's this fantasy of money, and my kid can represent the family and my gene pool. It's all things that make the parents feel better, but the kid, it makes them want to quit. I was the kid, because I was young and dumb, that took football away from myself because of a dad like that. Like, I took it away from myself because he made it not fun. It wasn't fun. I didn't want to do it because I thought every time I'd go to practice, I'd have to answer questions about it. And like, I got to the point where I didn't even want to get a sack, because if I got a sack, I'd have to hear him talk to friends and family. Like, no, that's my shit. That's my sack. Like, it's just, cross-reference it with school, man, and how parents or fathers talk to their kid before and after school, and then run it against that video. I think the picture becomes really fucking clear.
It's so crazy. So when you said that, John, the first thing that came to mind is, I think because of my undervalue kind of school, because I don't know. I ask the same thing, get the same answer. I'll use AG for an example. He gets A's and B's. He does well in school, but he doesn't fucking love it. But then when I see him cutting up video, or I see him doing things that are like something that could turn into like a skill that he could use, especially in today's day and age, I'm like, I hone in on it and say like, yo, what program are you using? How'd you learn how to do it? Oh, I learned how to use this program from watching this YouTuber, and then here's the video I did that. Like, I asked the question. So I think I'm a weird kind of mix, because I'm strong with obedience from a standpoint of your coaching and paying attention and all things that are really just listening. They're not based on you being a Major League Baseball player, right?
Mhm.
And I only help where I see like, hey, he's doing this on his own. Okay, then I'll help him a little bit, but I'm not the one that's starting that. And then when it comes to school, I have the same kind of fucking talk because I don't put enough value on it, which I probably should. Professor Gregory should probably put more value on it, but his mom does more of that she's more into school. But then I go in that trade because I know at the end of the day, like the trade stuff, as we see Johnny or whatever they're into, whether it's, something that they can offer to the world is probably where it's going to lie at. Probably not going to be a pro baseball player. So it's like, I try to hone in and I think it's just what it is. Right. So I never had that fantasy though, because I saw myself put in a ton of fucking effort. Now, when I transitioned that same effort into something I really enjoyed and liked, I became pro in something else essentially. And it worked out well for me, as did you in business. And it's like, so I tried to establish, I just had this conversation the other day, like you've been working out, you're doing all these things on your own. And we came home on a 4-hour trip and you pitched awesome and you did well. And the only reason why your pitching is doing better than this or that guy is because of all this time you're putting in on your own. And I said, now in life, you have to see you got a result from hours of time and being slightly obsessed, which is what he is about pitching, and look at the result. Now, whenever you decide of what you want to do for yourself in life, you have to understand it works the same way. I love sports because you can parallel so many things, but to fucking barrage your 8-year-old kid to the point of like, we're going to skip your next game because fucking you didn't pay attention. Like, dude, I just think it was a little, I think that was a little, that one was a hair aggressive because at the end of the day, John, you shouldn't have ripped football from yourself because of someone else, but no one else was, you didn't have anybody to advise you that, hey, that's not
I was a kid.
You're a kid.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like a kid.
And I think the same thing, like I quit certain sports because of adults that were involved and I shouldn't have robbed that time for myself. I have like very few regrets in life. Like I'm not a person that sits around and regrets much of anything, to be honest with you. But me and John kind of similarly have some similar things from our childhood. Like I regret quitting a couple sports also because of adults I didn't want to be around. If my dad would have said, fuck the baseball coach or fuck the football coach, you don't like him. You need the experience of being with your guys and contributing to the team. You only get one time in life to do these things. And so that's kind of interesting that I was driven away, not from my parent, but from a similar kind of person riding me and not really having some type of like, at least outlook of positivity. There was like no positive thing in sight. And to me, that's hard for a kid unless they're really mentally tough, and they're not because they ain't developed yet, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just look at those things and I think like, listen, like, why are we discount? Okay. So we trust again to school. We trust our teachers to teach our kids, right? Why are we leapfrogging the coach? They have someone, a professional who is a lot more fucking qualified than their fucking father because they are in that position to coach them. That's what they're doing. They're coaching them on all these things. So they got to deal with a coach when they go to practice, when they go to the game. They got to deal with a coach. So they don't need another fucking coach when they get off the field, playing fucking Monday morning quarterback. That's like, that's not what a kid fucking needs, dude. What it like, watching that video and I hope people watch it back. It's like, that's here. When you have when you preach at someone and not have a conversation, that was not a conversation. I don't care how young the kid is. You can talk to him. Like, how'd you feel out there? Cause you didn't look like you were into it, like what's going on? Like those kind of things can help your child. But when you're talking at someone, not with someone, bro, you're going to create a fucking brick wall. And I just think that parents need to step the fuck back. If your kid is a freak show, trust me, you're going to know. You're going to fucking know. And
you can see it early too, right, Johnny? The freak shows you played with, everyone knew it.
Come on.
They all know.
Yeah, they're just fucking. Yeah, so if someone's a fucking freak show and the numbers, this motherfucker's all state, okay, yeah, you want to get him in summer camp because fucking Duke's recruiting him. We're in a different hemisphere then. We're having a different discussion then. we're having a different discussion. But that's the 1 in a million kid right there. That's the 1 in a million kid. The other, 999,000 kids, 999. And you're not doing that. So if we can trust the most important role in the world, teachers with our kids, why the fuck can't we trust coaches to teach them a game? It is a game. It's a fucking game.
Let me ask you this, Johnny, and I've never asked you this before. Do you think at what level should every kid play? Like, at what level is it? And I'd just be interested to hear your, like, at what point does it stop? Like, because there's points in baseball where it's like, all right, up to X amount of age, everybody has to play. It's a rule. Literally now, it's a rule. I've experienced it. Everybody has to play.
Stupid.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, let me, because I'm excited to hear your feedback on this. So at a certain point, it's a rule. Everybody has to play minimum 2 innings or bat at least 1 time or some shit like that. And then when you get into, let's say, like 8th, 9th grade, it's like, yo, we got to play kids where we're going to win. And parents, dude, I've seen it. Like, I'm sitting in the meeting going, yo, if my kid ain't good enough to play, he ain't good enough to play. And if you don't want to work on the outside of it, then he shouldn't play. I don't think he's entitled to playing time. But I guess and I don't remember it. There was no rules like that when we were kids. So it's like, what point is that okay or not okay? I want to hear what your thought is on that.
I think it's completely not okay, period. If it was to be okay, I would say, like, I don't know what the entry level is for baseball, 5 or 6 years old, T-ball.
Yeah, T-ball.
Okay, like, you rotate everyone to bat or something for that. But once there's, T-ball. Okay, once you get to, I don't know, man, 7, 8 years old, why should everybody get a chance to play when everybody gets a chance at practice to run fast, to work hard, to show the coach that they're serious about improving? Because, listen, coaches are put there for one reason. And I may be extreme here, but you want to win. Now, of course, you want to coach kids and develop. You want to you have to develop kids as well. But you have to put the best lineup on the field to give your team a chance to fucking win. This connects to the trophy mentality. Everyone gets a trophy because they fucking try. No, if you're not good enough to play, I have some advice for you. Do more, work harder if you want a chance to play. Don't cry about it. Don't tell your mom. Don't tell your dad. And if you are a dad and you are a mom and you get told about it and you go bitch to a coach, you are the fucking problem, motherfucker. You are the problem. Like, you're the problem. You're fucking it up for all these fucking kids, because I can tell you, I told this on another podcast. I had a traveling basketball team that was ripped apart by this in reverse. So it wasn't mandated, but a coach came in and inserted his 2 kids that would have never made the team just to put them on the floor. And me and the other good player could never play together because he fucking was the coach simply to put his 2 kids on the floor who sucked. And it fucking, it ruined our chance to compete at a championship level, which is the reason why everyone is there. I don't give a fuck. Sports is about fucking winning and discipline, and that's what the coach is there to do. I want to differentiate what I'm saying about a coach and what sports are there for from a parent. Parents are there for support and all that stuff. A coach is there to put a team together to fucking win. So nobody should fucking play if they haven't earned their position. And I got news for you. If you can't earn a position at 10 years old, you're probably not going to earn a position when you're 14 years old. Unless you work harder. And if you work harder, that's the whole fucking point.
Yeah, to get the outcome for working hard. What's interesting, John, is the term that they use that is called daddy ball. You got daddy ball.
I call it fucking pussy ball.
Pussy ball. Well, basically that is what's happened. Excuse me. That's what's happened a lot. And I think that here's the problem is we're shaping our next level of kids through sports with this mentality. Hey, you know what? I worked harder than this guy, but I got to sit on the bench because of the mandated 2-inning fucking rule. What? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't showcase what the real world gives you back. And that's, dude, whoa, that's one of those things that's one. Uh-oh.
What's
Are you
happening?
going James
What's
Brown
happening?
intermission? Is it
What's
James
happening?
Brown intermission?
Come on. What's happening?
Payback.
No, get up off of that thing. Oh,
I was doing a split. Trajan saw it.
okay. All right. Back to what you're saying.
All right, man.
All right.
What I was saying is, like, I think that at the end of the day, it's like we're shaping these kids with this mentality that as they grow up, it's like, one, they're quitting stuff that they probably wouldn't have previously. They're not understanding that to some degree, or a lot of it, because these mandated everybody gets a trophy rules. If I work harder, I get to stay on the field rather than the person that's just entitled to playing time. And then on top of it, they see the politics of the same situation that you went through. Like, wait a second, why is that kid on the field when there's two kids on the bench that whoop his ass? And they can plainly see it. It's because you're getting politicked like a motherfucker at the daddy ball. So, like, that's the one thing that I did experience this year was, as a coach, I saw the head coach say, look, everybody, these rules, they don't apply anymore. We're about to be ninth graders. We're trying to win fucking games. If your kid can't get better in practice or doesn't work hard on the side, he's not going to play. Now, if he wants to be on the team still, so he can still develop because he has aspirations of getting better over the next 24 or 36 months and maybe playing high school baseball, I don't have a problem with that. But just know I'm putting the best 9 people on the fucking field to win. And there was a couple people like, wait, I don't understand, but so-and-so loves baseball. Well, yeah, he can fucking love it. I love basketball too, but guess what? And
He
so
also
did you, but you weren't
fucking, My Little Pony. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
So it's like, but what happens is here's what I've seen, Johnny, is that's being said, but then if you have the politics behind it, it doesn't mean it's always true. And so there is some things that happen like that I've experienced where somebody says a statement like that, but then there is a kid on the bench that hasn't really got a shot and he's getting politicked like you might have with this situation, right?
You need to invite me. You need to invite me to one of your kids' games, and I'll just punch every parent in the face that acts like this. Because just hearing it, like like if you've ever played Mortal Kombat, the sweep when you kind of turn around, dude, I would sweep fucking parents all over the place. They would be hitting the bleachers.
Johnny, there is
it'd be like ding ding, like the aluminum fucking sound.
So what you guys are hearing is the reason why I never coached. I have never coached in my town for this exact reason. And this year was the first time, because I'm at every fucking game and every practice anyway with my kids. So I'm there just as much, just the same amount of time.
Hashtag at the ball field.
I'm already at the ball. John knows when he met me and we started working together in the summertime. Like, I'm there double headers all weekend. Yep. Like, it's just what it is.
Ball field basically.
Oh my gosh. And so basically this was the first year that I said, okay, on the second season, it's shorter. I'll be an assistant. And I asked the coach, I said, listen, I'm used to coaching adults and I'm being very direct and calling, I call the lifters out when I see shit going on. I was like, I think we need more of that around here. And that's what I want to represent. And I just told the kids in the very first fucking game, you guys can't screw up that much if you want to win. Like, you did this, you did that, you did that. If we, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one was direct, bro. This is how life is. I told my students, and I put out a message in my class because I'm traveling next week, and I'm like, yo, y'all are behind. I see it. Guess what? Hard work is rewarded most of the time with playing time, grades, whatever it is. Y'all aren't fucking doing the work. So I'm going to reward you with a fucking F. Don't get it twisted. I'm going to give you back what the real world's going to give you back. And you know what it does? You're on the fucking bench. You're on the fucking bench, or you're getting an F, or you're fucking broke. Because that's what happens.
Well, yeah, the real world's like a huge wooden plunger. It's like a huge wooden plunger, and the real world pushes your head and bends you over like an L, almost in a doggy style position, and it fucks you in the ass with the huge wooden end of the plunger. That's what the real world represents.
It does. And I think that two things that I tried to push myself to do that were, unnormal for me, which was one, coach a little bit, which these kids are 14 and 15, so they're old enough to be, easily direct with. And then the teaching. Those are two areas where I hadn't done, traditionally, and I'm not surprised what I saw. It's exactly what I thought. And what I was trying to tell these guys is like, if you give this effort, this is what the outcome is. I see it out here. And the reason why I'm so direct is because, and I'm nice. Like, I'm a fucking nice dude. Like, it's fucking harsh out here. Like, how about John Fosco punches you in the fucking throat when you don't do shit right?
I'd go after the parents. I'd go after the parents.
I mean, right?
Yeah, the parents.
Yeah, listen, that's what it is. And that's the thing is, like, my coach was always, like, my coach in baseball, which I loved back in the day, my summer ball coach, he didn't even know a ton about baseball, but he knew a ton about discipline, hard work, and accountability. Yeah. And he would say, look, if you fucking dive for that ball and you give and you miss it, fuck it, dude, I can live with that. But you lollygagging your ass up to a fucking fuck that. Like, we just really knew what time it was, and that helped me a ton. And I just applied that to other things. And I think that there's a lot of people just pussyfooting around out here, bro. And that's going to equal you a fucking throat punch from John Fosco.
Yeah, well, I had a coach that I pitched, and his name was Larry Long. Larry, I hope you're still alive. His name was Larry.
That'd be amazing if he's a listener.
Larry. His name was Larry Long. He used to come out to the mound, if I was getting a little bit wild, or if I was, accidentally or not accidentally, beaning some kids, throwing at their face and stuff as hard as I could. But anyways, he'd come out to the mound, and this was before I was consuming alcoholic beverages, but he always had a very distinct smell to him, and he never could quite keep his balance on the mound, because it is a mound. It's not really flat. And Larry collapsed one day on the mound, and they fired him. They fired him.
Was he drunk?
From youth baseball, because apparently he was he had a water bottle that he would carry everywhere, but I guess it wasn't water, and it was on my pitch. I believe it was in the 5th inning. He had walked out. He stumbled. He was walking zigzag style, Larry Long, and he collapsed on the mound. And the other coaches, I don't know if a fight ensued with parents or something, but something great happened. But he was dragged out and removed from the Downers Grove Youth Public Baseball League.
I love it. Two things came to mind when you said that. I had an incident last year that was 2 years ago, where there was a play at the home plate where a kid tagged another kid too hard. Is what they thought, right?
Wait, tagged him too hard? What does that even mean?
Listen, and BMX Mafia was represented. Okay. No question.
Yeah, boy.
And there was a lady that literally came out that's
Very
probably
nice.
3 bills plus
300
and started
pounds.
chest bumping. Listen,
Very nice.
started chest bumping and yelling at our head coach at the time, who, by the way, was Secret Service for Bush and Obama.
Boy,
mean, this guy is like a bad motherfucker. And this lady who runs the book, like the book they fill out, Johnny.
Oh, she's been doing that job for a while.
Dropping F-bombs and chest bumping him on home plate. And like,
fuck yes.
It was I wish I had my camera. Unbelievable. I thought it was Royal Rumble, bro.
Was it because she was mad about the player, or she was hungry?
She was both.
Okay. All right.
It was both. But here, I want to flip back to something serious for a second. And this is the part of the unaware, I think, entitled, just young. And I started to kind of try to tell the kids this year that, look, we live in a privileged community, no question. I see the basic, annual income on the stats and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't grow up here. So I don't really know the feeling of the area, right? But I started to get a feel of it with sports. I see, because I was a country town growing up that would go and play in privileged areas, and I knew how I felt, right? I'm gonna whoop these fucking rich kids' asses, right? 100%. I thought all that shit. And I told our guys, which there's way more communities that have way more money than ours, but a lot of the communities we play are smaller country towns that don't have a lot of money, and the kids come in fiery because they feel that way, I guarantee. And I told them, after one game, we got our ass kicked. I said, everyone thinks we're soft, right? And I looked over my one coach. He's from the Ohio Valley. He grew up close to me. The other one's from fucking Logan. Like, he's in the country. Like, these dudes,
Logan,
one
dude.
of them's like, one of them's like a big time fucking hunter. The other dude,
maybe an Etna guy.
Yeah. Well, it's a good example. Pataskala whoops our ass a lot.
Pataskala.
Because which is where my gym's at, right? And I see there's a lot more blue collar, hardcore people that live in the town where my gym is compared to the town. I love the city I live in, but like I said, I was trying to let these kids get a feel. Like I said, they think we're soft. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I'm not from here. Jared's not from here. Brett's not from here. I said, what do you guys think? And they all shook their head because they believe we're privileged and entitled and they think we're soft. So if you're going to let motherfuckers come in here, tell you you're soft, whoop your ass, and then think it's okay.
Plunger. They got the plunger.
Dude, then that's what it is. But I told him, like, I'm not fucking down with that. Coach Gregory ain't fucking feeling that. And I told him when I was one of these kids and came in here, I would have thought the same thing. And I would have put in more work than you guys because I'm going to whoop your ass. And I said, what you got to understand is you're young and maybe you don't see that, but it's fucking real. And the real world's like that too. So I tried to bring a little bit of that stuff because all of that shit makes sense. Like, think about like probably where you're from, Johnny. The city league teams want to whoop the fucking suburb teams, right?
They do.
Like, and they do.
They do.
Like 100%, right?
Yeah,
and it's a thing, is it not? It's the same. It's a similar thing probably in the country. So all of these things. So like, I look at it like this, like, oh, everyone plays, blah, blah, blah. But you got these kids that are coming in fucking just whooping your ass because they don't give a fuck about that. They're working hard because they're behind the 8 ball. They ain't got the privilege shit. So I think that all these things kind of play a part in this whole conversation. And I'm kind of in it as a parent and slightly as a coach or teacher. And it's interesting.
Do you think everyone should play?
I think that there should be an opportunity to get a chance because I think life's about chances. I don't think it's a mandatory thing. So here's what I think, Johnny. I think you develop kids when the score's like if the score is fucking 12-0 and you don't know if a kid can play first base, give him a shot to play first base. But guess what? If he misses 6 balls, he ain't fucking playing first base again.
Let me ask you this.
So I think
let me ask you this. So if you're a parent and you're not at practice, you don't know if that kid that I understand exactly what you're saying from a premise standpoint. But what if what if that kid's fucking off in practice and the last thing he deserves is a reward of playing time?
No, then he doesn't.
But that's what the parents don't know.
No, they don't know that. And everybody thinks their kid's a saint, right? And I don't believe that about
your
mine.
Kid's
a
demon, dude.
Off.
Your kid's a demon. Just face it.
They fuck off. That's just the way it is. So it's one of those things where I think that there's developmental time during games. Here's the other thing, John, is kids play way more games than practice now. That's the other problem. Do we practice
up? What?
It is, but it is way more, bro. So we used to play, I don't know how many games you played a week, but I probably played 2 baseball games a week. Does that sound about accurate?
Yeah, maybe? Exactly. We'd hit
and
like
so you practice
Saturday.
Yeah, and you practice like 5 days.
Absolutely.
And so you get a chance to develop. Well, with the way things are nowadays, it's games way more than practices, bro.
Why?
And so
Why?
It's the nature of more games, more travel, more this. We play rec baseball. We don't play travel baseball, so I'm not all up in that. But even with rec,
is it a money deal?
Play more.
Is it a money deal?
And it could be. I don't know. I don't really think so because these tournaments don't cost that much. But I mean, maybe it is. There's something that, and I think it's more showcase. Hey, listen, more showcase, less actual fundamentals. Like it's just flipped up like that right now. And I don't know why the system has turned that way. But so part of the problem is, I think that's why they started to mandate some of this stuff because there's no development. There's barely any developmental time. See, that's where once again things have changed in this age that I've seen why these things have happened. But at the end of the day, I'm not putting a kid who can't catch the fucking baseball in my infield unless I'm up 20-0. I'm sorry. He can work and practice in a traditional system. So I think there's a few factors, but at the end of the day, a lot of these things parallel life. And if you're fucking coddled and you're,
hey, in life, you don't get a guaranteed at bat. I just want to let everyone know that.
You don't get a guarantee.
You may never get an at bat because you're too much of a fucking pussy.
I mean, ain't that the fucking truth, John?
Yeah, just
And-
like
and
your
that's what-
kids,
and I
bro.
run these-
Go take it. Go take the position from someone.
Well, and
Go take
I
it.
think what's easy and what happens, John, is if you think about this, right? If you're no matter what your profession is, you could be all the way into a president of a something or this or that. But if you're in a like corporate, let's call it 9 to 5, and even though you're fighting for position, but it's still different, I think, than it is as an entrepreneur and the aggressiveness of timelines. And I don't know. I think that it's easy to get comfortable and forget how much you have to fight for a lot of people when they get in comfortable situations for they're in jobs for 20, 30 years. They almost lose sight of the old team, what it is to push for playing time. Then they have their own insecurities. Then they're not fighting tooth and nail for stuff, maybe personally on top of it.
Yeah.
Dude, I think, I don't know. I
That's
think
their
a lot
own
of this
deal,
stuff-
bro. Though, because
but it's projected on. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And that's what you're starting to see. And it's like
everyone's got their own
aggressive-
challenges, though. So if you're in a company,
Exactly.
it's no secret how to fucking get out. Oh, you're comfortable. Well, if you're not the guy who wants to constantly climb the ladder, you're not gonna. So if you're comfortable, that's why you're staying in your spot. If you're a kid who wants to put in if you're the kid who wants to fucking play and you're not playing, and you come with the same attitude, the same work ethic, you put in the same time to practice, don't expect to play. These are very simple things in life, and people don't deserve a shot just because it's like, oh, that would be fair. Dude, hey, life is the most unfair. Talk about fairness to all those mothers out there that have lost children, in military conflicts. But talk about fairness to them. Life isn't fucking fair. Life isn't fair. These kids need to learn that early on. And when we're talking about a game, a motherfucking game, dude, you got to put in work. That's it. Shut the fuck up. Tell your parents to shut the fuck up. Everyone shut the fuck up. Let the coach do his fucking job or do her fucking job. And the focus should be that the kids have fucking fun.
So, Johnny, I have a friend that's a president of a rec league, of the rec here in my town. And he's from where I'm from, too. I didn't know him growing up or from the same area. And the shit he showed me, bro, before, he could have his own reality show. When we're talking about sound like kind of severe, you heard this video, bro, I'm talking like that video makes the shit I've seen from him like look like a fucking cakewalk. It's bad, man. Bad.
Specifics here. I don't quite understand what you're saying.
Meaning like the aggressiveness of the shit that comes to him about playing time and the daddy ball and the fucking my kid this and my kid's gonna do that, and why the fuck isn't the field ready but it's rained for 20 days in a row. Like, dude, the craziness of kids not playing because they're not good or because they fuck off in practice, the unrealistic expectations of their future. It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, but it's like anything though.
nonstop.
Like if you're in a leadership position, a coach, you're a leader. It's like, okay, that stuff only exists if you give it power. So it's like, oh, you want to email me? Like just like if everyone needs to know the first day of practice, hey, bring your parents. I'm the coach. I'm the boss. I don't get second guess. If you have a question, you can ask me. I make the calls. If not, one of you can try to take my job in this coaching position. I don't want to hear it. So it's like, I don't have any sympathy for someone who gets listen, any boss, any leader, you get shit all the time from people below you or people who work for you. That's part of the deal. Now it's only something if you give it energy. What I'm saying is
set
the tone.
And he doesn't give it energy. It's more what I'm saying is what people are doing currently, what they think is okay is at this stuff is rampant at an extremely high level. So he runs all of the teams. So it'd be like all ages, all teams. So he sees it from across the board. And it truly is remarkable how unaware.
The sensitivity. We come back to the
unbelievable.
sensitivity of this pussy ass fucking culture we live in. It's just so it's not helping anybody. It's not helping anybody. But everyone is so self-important. and they cannot see that their fucking overweight 9-year-old is not playing because there's a kid in front of him that has 7 home runs, that's stolen 14 bases, and is batting .391. That's why your fat, out of shape, lazy kid isn't playing. What do you want from me? This kid is outperforming him. Welcome to the real world. I know it doesn't feel good, but your kid's a mess. Stop feeding him macaroni and cheese.
That right there is the world that they, when they walk out of high school and they got like a new, like there's a big pond out there and you're swimming, like there's no fucking life vest. Like that's it. And you just explained it. And what you said was, it doesn't feel good, but it doesn't matter because that's not how the world works. No one cares.
Life doesn't.
And so that's, and dude, right there, I think. And so as you're a parent listening to this and you're hearing John's view and my view, which are, I think, extremely similar, it's like, look, don't prepare your kid to get out and get fucking punched in the throat by John Fosco when he's 18. Like, prepare him for what's reality and that this is what it is. Work hard equals result. Guess what? Work hard and it still doesn't equal result because you're really not good enough. Try something else. That's just, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like,
yeah. Or if you love it, keep trying. If you love it and you enjoy it, keep trying.
Yep.
Keep trying.
Keep trying. And dude, listen, I look at it like this. If the aspiration for like my oldest son is to try as hard as he can, and he actually gives it that much effort, and he barely makes the team or doesn't make the team, and he fucking gave it everything and he loves it, then dude, that's what it takes. But that happens in life too. At the end of the day, you're not guaranteed a position. You're not guaranteed playing time.
No one knows you shit.
No one knows you nothing. And that's the world that we're truly in. Yeah. But people are creating an alternate reality, and they're fucking stuff up. And
they're fucking their kids up. I blame our problems on the parenting of these younger generations. That's
all right. So John, all the stuff that we just all the stuff we just talked about, does that then lend to that we like that video or that message?
Yes, I like the video because it creates.
That's what it sounds like.
A relevant conversation. It creates a relevant conversation where many people can have many viewpoints. They can bring them to the table, and we can discuss them. Sure, you don't have to agree with my opinion. Everyone can have their own opinion. But I think what it does is it allows us to speak from different perspectives, introduce new thoughts, and maybe re-examine and try to help this situation, because I think it is a problem. I think it's been a problem for a long time. I've seen multiple reports on the news about the amount of fist fights at fucking Little League game. Bro, think of how ironic that statement is. Fist fight at a Little League game. These are kids just wanting to play baseball innocently. Are you kidding? Like, dude,
Johnny, I've seen 8U, which is 8 years and under. So sick kids are sick there from kindergarten to fucking first or second grade. Parents go fucking nuts where it looks like they're literally about to go to blows. I'm telling you, it's absurd, bro.
Yeah.
Absurd. And that's where we're going. So, hey, I want to wrap it up with saying, like, John, I think this was a great topic. I want to make sure, when you guys hear this, Jeremy will post it up on social media. Please comment and tell us your thought. Like, you heard me and John talk about it. Like, comment on social and we'll read through them. I want to see what you guys think, and me and John will answer back, and Business of Biceps will answer back. Like, I think it's cool to hear your guys' view on this video, and I would love to see that engagement, and just so we can get a take on what our listeners think. I think it's cool.
Absolutely. Everyone is entitled to an opinion, and I'd love to hear them. And listen, if you are a college athlete or a professional, or you played at a high level and you say, man, I completely disagree because, well, again,
love to see that too.
Yeah, I'll reiterate the fact that you clearly were probably a freak. So
yeah. No, I think it'd be good. And if we had some person that wasn't a freak in the mandatory 2 innings, fucking made them develop them, then let's hear it. I'd love to know that, because I've never heard of that. So fucking let's do it. So all right, well, shit. Without further ado, I think we'll wrap this bitch up. Johnny Fosco,
Corey Gregory, Corey Gregoria.
Can the podcast be stopped?
The
The
podcast
podcast
can't be stopped.
Take payback.
Payback.